Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about some great news surrounding Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR. If you didn't know, Palantir Technologies is a big data and analytics company that serves both commercial enterprises as well as government agencies. Right now, the PLTR stock price currently trades for around $13 per share, while the low-end analyst 12-month price prediction is $9, the average price consensus among professionals is $15, and the high-end PLTR stock price for the next 12 months is $25 per share. 11 analysts currently have initiated coverage on the PLTR stock, with 2 of these analysts saying that the PLTR stock is a good buying opportunity right now due to its long-term growth potential. 6 of these analysts actually say to hold the company. However, 3 of these 11 analysts actually say to sell the PLTR stock. So today we're going to determine what we should do with the PLTR stock while also talking about the latest news updates for this particular company. Palantir Technologies specializes in defense, intelligence, artificial intelligence, homeland security, and they also help commercial enterprises make decisions through their data analysis. But the news that we're going to talk about today is that Palantir is adding several former defense officials to its first federal advisory board. And the purpose of this federal advisory board is to offer Palantir their specific specialties and perspectives, which they will convey to company officials. And this board will be made up from people that were involved in the Air Force. They were former U.S. Special Operations, the former acting Deputy Secretary of Defense, a former U.S. Africa Command head, a former Coast Guard vice official, the previous head of Transportation Security Administration, as well as a past Homeland Security Secretary. So these are very high-profile individuals that are going to be able to consult and give their professional opinions to company officials within Palantir Technologies. So I think this is heavily going to benefit Palantir Technologies over the long term, because right now their government contracts as well as the revenues coming in from their government segment is the bread and butter of Palantir Technologies. But like I've talked about a multitude of times on this channel, I think that their commercial revenues is going to be their future bread and butter, which is to say that the majority of their revenues will be obtained through their commercial clients, which I think will eventually turn the company profitable. Palantir's co-founder and chief executive Alexander Karp, also known as Alex Karp, who is the CEO, said that we invited these national security leaders to join our first government advisory board because of the exceptional contributions they have made to this country in their years of public service, as well as the expertise and unwavering integrity they have brought to addressing the most significant national security challenges we collectively face. And I 100% agree with this very strategic move on Palantir Technologies' part. I think this is going to further boost Palantir's already very networked relationship with the US government. And by getting insider information from all these former DoD officials, this is going to be extremely valuable for Palantir Technologies. The board members will also tell Palantir executives how to better understand the military services of the inner workings of the Department of Defense, as well as the other organizations that each of them were particularly a part of or specialized in. Palantir's senior vice president said that we have 20 years almost of our own mostly direct engagement with the department, referring to the Department of Defense, also known as the DoD. But we still have a lot to learn, and we are excited about learning it. The board members understand the cultures of the services, they understand priorities. And this is going to shed light on Palantir's products, so Palantir can develop or even further enhance their products to be even more useful to the United States government. I also want to mention that these board members are going to be paid because of their understanding of the national defense needs of the United States. And they are going to help Palantir think very critically and strategically about their next move and how they can optimize their existing platforms. It's also very important for the military to take advantage of Palantir's technology, which it already has in a multitude of degrees, degrees. However, Palantir Technologies wants to be even more advantageous to the United States military and our allies. And this is most notably going to be seen on the success in battlefield situations. So luckily, the United States isn't in direct war with any other country right now. However, because of geopolitical tensions and current pushback that the United States has received from the East, we could see government contractors as well as companies like Palantir actually see some really good stock price appreciation and receive more business because of this. And some investors actually think that Palantir shines the most in times of uncertainty or times of economic or even geopolitical stress, because these are the times that we most rely on Palantir's technology. I also want to point out, if you didn't already hear, that Palantir has partnered with Carahsoft, and this is an absolutely phenomenal partnership. If you didn't know, Carahsoft Technology Corp is a trusted IT government solutions provider for various government agencies, and they have recently announced a partnership with Palantir Technologies. So this new partnership with Carahsoft will enable various government departments and agencies to access Palantir's solutions and platforms. And I really like how Palantir has opened themselves up to even more channels where government departments and agencies can now access their various solutions. I think this is actually directly correlated with Palantir's recent investments in marketing and sales, on top of hiring marketing and sales personnel. This is going to broaden their overall net, which hopefully will capture them more revenues over the long term, because it's going to broaden their overall reach within the US federal sector. Palantir is going to be extremely advantageous to many of these companies because Palantir provides data-driven decision solutions for a multitude of various government agencies, including the US Army, the Navy, the military as a whole, special operations. They even have various commercial clients where Palantir helps out by identifying counterfeit money, foodborne illnesses, and they also support federal safety regulators. So overall, this is a very good thing to hear. The head of USG channel and distribution at Palantir Technologies actually said that partnering with Carahsoft and its resellers will allow Palantir to fully leverage the value that the channel ecosystem brings, offering the government the ability to work with their trusted partners and have more options on how they can procure our joint solutions. This statement is then echoed by the head of sales for Palantir Technologies, which said that we are thrilled to partner with Carahsoft as we invest in growth and establish new routes to market that will increase access to Palantir's best-in-class software. And I 100% agree with them. The Carahsoft vice president then actually responded to these very, very good and positive comments from the leads at Palantir Technologies by saying, with the addition of Palantir to our offerings, government agencies now have access to Palantir's big data solutions to transform how they can achieve their goals. We look forward to working with Palantir and our resellers to deliver mission-critical technology to the government and help agencies advance their digital modernization strategy, end quote. And overall, this is very fantastic news. I think their overall federal board is going to help Palantir overall, mainly due to strategic planning and future growth projections, and by offering new growth channels and new channels where they can acquire more revenues by partnering with companies such as Carahsoft. This is also going to increase their revenues as well. So clearly their investments in their sales and marketing division is doing a phenomenal job for the overall company. However, let's see what the overall market thinks about Palantir right now. So in front of you, we basically have their score, and this is how bullish or bearish investors, as well as recent articles that are coming out about Palantir Technologies. Ideally, we would want the score to be as high or as close to 50 as possible. And if we just look at the recent 22 articles that were released in the last 7 days, 67% of these articles do have a bullish sentiment to them, which could change retail investors' minds because some people are very bearish on Palantir Technologies, but it's good to see that Palantir Technologies is receiving some positive publicity for once. This is actually a 2% increase from the positive sector average, which is around 65%. 4%. On the other hand, we see around 33% of articles posted in the last 7 days with a bearish tone to them, which means that it's overall negative. And this means that we are more bullish and positive than we are bearish and negative, and I think this is going to do very well for the overall PLTR stock price, because if we can change the way the overall market views Palantir, their technology, and their future growth prospects, this is directly going to be reflected in the PLTR stock price. Now, that's not to say that the Palantir stock price is just going to continue to trend upward from here. I do think we're going to experience a lot of volatility in the stock, and the PLTR stock could continue to trend downward. However, with that being said, if you plan to trade this company is probably not for you. This is only for long-term investors, and for me personally, I never allocate more than 5% of my portfolio to a single stock, and right now the PLTR stock makes up around 4% of my overall portfolio. But I will keep you updated on what I do with the PLTR stock in the future. Overall, Palantir Technologies to me is a solid hold right now. I wouldn't necessarily buy more PLTR stock right now. Right now, I would say that we are just in the sit and wait scenario, at least until we can get more guidance. And I think that I'll change my mind after their next earnings report, because I do want to see how they are currently doing in 2022. But with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts about Palantir Technologies down below and what you think is going to happen in their next earnings report. Smash that like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.